This BBVA Frontiers of Knowledge Award in climate change is fantastic. It's fantastic for me, and I believe it really validates a whole community of first-rate scholars doing world-class research on ice, on the history of climate written in ice, on whether the ice sheets will fall in the ocean and flood the coasts. Research on ice has just been fascinating for me. It matters in lots of ways because it really does affect sea level. It really does record the history of climate. And so we are learning that ice can change very rapidly. We are learning that those changes can affect the climate all over the world, as well as affecting the sea level, that they have happened in the past and that they've happened very rapidly. And so we're seeing this role of ice as being larger in the climate than you might expect by how much of the world is frozen at any time. We've learned an immense amount about abrupt climate changes. What we see is that the history of climate includes slow, gradual changes, but it includes jumps. We are hopeful that we won't face any jumps in the very near future, but we're not certain. They are possible. In the same way that a driver hopes to drive to the destination without problems, but occasionally there's an accident, as the climate is driving into the future, it might hit an abrupt jump, and that matters to decision making. When I'm a driver, I do not assume that I'm going to have an accident, but I buckle my seatbelt to be ready. I take actions that make it easier to get through an abrupt change if it were to happen. When we look at wise responses to climate change, the possible impacts, the economics, and so on, the scholars that look at this say that keeping the possibility of abrupt change in mind will allow us to make decisions which are wiser, that make us better off. The biggest thing about climate change is that if we use the knowledge that comes from science, together with what we care about and where we want to go, we can use that knowledge to make us better off, to improve the economy, to improve the environment.